All right, man. Listen, man. Feel that energy, man. Listen, man. Listen, man. Energy. That's what I have right now. I got so much energy right now, man. The energy. Listen what I'm saying. Energy, your energy. God is energy. God is in you. God is your energy. When I pray, I don't pray for things. I pray for energy. The energy that God fills me with to project my gift to the world. I'm happy to be here, man. It's been a long time since I came before you. It's been a long time since I've been around, done anything. Life has been treacherous. I've experienced some things over the last few years that rocked the very foundation of my soul. The same energy I was just professing to you is the same one that turned the mirror around the same one that showed me who I really was. Because life sometimes will cause you to build layers upon layer till you become a character that you don't know who you are. It's so funny, man. I didn't mean to start off like this, but I just let God kind of do what he do, man. But the mirror revealed a lot of things about me, man. And before I get started talking about kind of the new show that's rolling out, I'm going to get to that. I want to say a few things. First about podcasts. And I want to apologize to everybody that's been on the Deep Surface podcast, that's participated in the Deep Surface podcast, that's contributed in any type of way. I just want to apologize for how I, as a leader, conducted business, conducted myself, the lack of communication in a lot of ways. I'm the leader, and there were some great people that contributed to this platform that I just did not, I wasn't my best when my best was needed for the people that gave their time and effort, because that's important. And I just want to say I apologize. I make no excuse. Your contribution to this, what is and was and will forever will be a major integral part as we continue to ascend to wherever God takes us. And the door is always open for anybody that's ever contributed, because the fight that we're fighting, the objective of this podcast, the objective of this is to observe, protect, and watch our children evolve through human evolution, through the changing of the world, the paradigm shift that is beginning to happen before our eyes. The world is moving at a rapid pace, and we need all the soldiers, everybody's involved. I can't do it by myself, and neither will I try, because I don't. Yes, I'm a singular force. Yes, I believe I'm great, but where two or three are gathered in my name, so shall I be. So I want to say that to everybody that contributed. I mean, every single person that sat down in front of the mic, behind the mic. I want you to know that I wasn't the greatest leader, but I'm repenting in front of you to let you know that I'm charged, and I've charged myself. The energy charged me to make sure that I make things right, and I will do that. it is important to never burn relationships. It is important to always make sure that you clear your consciousness so you can ascend to Christ consciousness. So you can understand purpose, because everything was fuzzy for me. And the foundational reason for that was because I'm now separated. And that's been what I've been dealing with holistically. I won't go into any detail about anything or mention my wife in any type of manner other than that she's class personified. That's all I'll say. Class personified, queen, class personified. The way she takes care of my children is second to none. I got nothing but great things to say about her, nothing but great things, and nothing but the best. But I just want to highlight and illuminate my perspective on where I've been. It's been hell. It's been hell. But I put myself in this situation. Make no mistake about it. There's a penalty to leadership. And there's a sacrifice to leadership. And I wasn't my best when my best was needed. And it was detrimental to my family, to everything that I stood for. No, I didn't cheat or nothing like that. No, if you know anything. But let me say this, in a marriage, now we're in a time frame, fellas, listen to me, where we have to evolve past that. That is so primitive in that thought pattern. No, just you not cheating is not enough. Our queens are evolving, and we now have to evolve because we're leaders. In the garden, when the apple was eaten by both, God addressed one person. It didn't matter what Eve did. God gave Adam the word. God gave man the word to constantly lead, even in the face of adversity. Yes, we're going through a paradigm shift in marriages as well, where the expectation now is enlarged. Now there's a demand for excellence on all levels, not just you not cheating, not just you presenting that you're a good man, but that you're a whole man, that you're a man of honor, you're a man of respect, you're a man of integrity. See, I got in trouble. Let me tell you something. Let's get real for a second. I got in trouble because my ego, my arrogance, my hard head, my victory defeated me. I was successful. Everything was working. So I thought I could take my formula into an institution of God and dictate how it works. The command is simple. Love your wife like Christ loved the church. And I did not do that. Simple and plain. As the days roll, as time goes, silence becomes the loudest noise in my life. All I hear is silence, men. Listen to me, husbands, young husbands. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Silence, if silence ever becomes the loudest noise in your life, buddy, it's deafening. It's like being in a desert. See, I'd rather you put me somewhere in the hood, Tim, in the corner. At least I know there's a way out, even if it's one way out. But see, when you in the desert, it's like being in the abyss. I'll tell you this, and I won't lie to you. If there's a hell, I would rather go there than deal with what I'm dealing with now, man. Listen to me. I'm not lying to you. I would rather I don't think there's any other punishment other than a man being separated from his queen. There is no punishment worse than that. Nothing. She nurtures, she brings life. See, I've got an opportunity to learn so much about women through this process. I got 4 little girls that teach me that show me. Thank God for that. Men, listen to me. Trust me. Your best is required now. Provision is required. Excellence is required at every turn. It does not matter what the woman is doing. It only matters the work that God has put inside of us as men. We don't need to be getting on the internet measuring what women are doing. Let women be women. And we grow as men so they can respect us as men. All of this starts and ends with us. There's no need to keep having talk shows about what women do and trying to measure them. We're men. We're leaders. I'm talking about men from Christianity, men from Muslims, Buddhists, all of us alike. The one thing we all have in common is family. That does not change. That is my religion, family. That is how God is illuminated to me. We're living in a time now we're living in a thought pattern now. Men, listen. That if we don't evolve, then what do our children do? If we don't treat our women with respect. I'm just telling you my experience. I'm no guru. I'm not trying to be no guru. I just live the pain every day. See, there's no destination for me. There's no happy ending when I leave this podcast. There's just, I'm telling you, if you're married, if you're a man, listen to me. Go above and beyond. Do what is required. Do the work. Turn inwardly and focus on your family. Don't worry about anything else. Nothing else. Don't worry about your job. Don't worry about nothing. Purpose and family. Purpose and family. Family and purpose. Purpose and family. There's nothing else. If you have to think about a bill, you're not even close to being where you need to be. The leadership has got to evolve for us now. Men, all I hear is silence. It's the loudest noise. If you listen to my voice, I'm saying it over and over again because repetition is the father of learning. So I want you to replay it in your mind what I'm saying, because I don't want to ever see anybody in my situation. I'm no victim. I put myself here. My arrogance put me here. No, it's not my fault. All my fault. No. But I am responsible. I'm responsible. And I did not do what I was supposed to do. That's just the reality of the situation. And I've dealt with it, dealing with it. I've had strong people by my side, strong people to help me. See, when you fall, man, that's the great thing about life. That's why family, to me, is where God is expressed at its highest. When we embrace, when I was on the floor crying, people calling me and just checking on me. Ebony coming to check on me. Ralph coming to check on me. Don coming to check on me. I don't want to leave nobody out. Jog, and especially my mom. Let me say this about my mom too as well. I got this right here. This is what my mother gave me at my graduation. So this says, you probably can't see it. Tim, can you see it? I'll read it out to you. But it says, the world awaits your brilliance, May 1st, 2008. And I've moved around quite a few times since 2008, like a lot. I've lived in different cities, moved around, worked at different jobs, different career paths. So I moved a lot, and a lot of stuff got missing that was sentimental. You know, I'll just get rid of stuff as I go. But everywhere I moved, everywhere I went, everywhere I spent my time, I've always seemed to just drag this along, just drag it along. And during this transition, I, again, dragged it along, wasn't thinking about it, just put it in the box. And it was in my closet today, and I walk past it every day, and I never even think about it, pay no mind to it. And today, it became life. It stuck itself out to me. It became a living organism, because now I see that the brilliance that my mom talked about, in order to obtain what I possess now, I had to go through a severe crushing. In order to get this, in order for this to come to life and be the world see my brilliance and understand that what God put inside of me, I had to go through a lot. And I'm glad I held on to this. She gave me this, and it was, hold on to the sentimental gifts that people give you, because you never know within purpose what it can do to ignite and spark you. So this gave me a lot of energy when it came to life, and the words really stuck out to me. And I knew what it said, but the day I really read it, and now I feel, now I understand what it meant, and I've always felt chosen. That's why I've always asked God to, don't let me get away with it, Lord, no matter what. Growing up, I was 16 years old. My mother, she would let us go places sometimes, but we couldn't stay out too late. So one particular night, I wanted to go hang with my cousins. I was getting bigger, like life was starting to happen. I was, in ninth grade playing football. I was doing my thing. Like I was really starting to feel myself. This is where this ego started to grow. But anyway, 16 years old, my mom, I asked my mom, I was lying at the time. I was like, Mom, can I go to Tim and Toya's house? He was like, yeah, go. And then I was getting ready to go, but I was lying. She didn't know I was lying. But she had this intuition. And she said, stopped me at the door. She said, Steve, if you lie to me, something gonna happen. So of course I was lying, but it kind of shook me a little bit. So got in the car, left with my cousins. So of course I was lying. We were there smoking and drinking and, trying to be just cool, whatever that was doing. So pulled up to the club, smoking and drinking, still getting ready to go to the club. So my cousin had our friend Todd, he had a girlfriend, and she was kind of, that was at it a little bit. And, she had a 5.0. I don't know if y'all remember, the police used to drive them 5.0s. And a 5.0 pulled up beside us with the lights, and the light stayed on. I'm like, man, what's going on? Man, listen. Them cops got out of that car, opened the door, knocked on the window and said, either y'all gay or it's a car full of smoke. And dude opened the door, and I was the first person they pulled out. 16 years old. So I was 16, they couldn't take me to jail at that time. So I lived right down the road. Took me down the road. And my mom was home. And Lord, listen. I was knocking on the door. So in South Carolina at that time, if he could not, since I was underage, he legally had to take me down the road. We called it down the road in Columbia, South Carolina. So I was going to have to go there. And he explained that to me in the car. So I'm knocking on the door because he's going to take me home. Take me home. My mom, I think she was watching, and dude was like, we had pit bulls in the backyard. He said, I'm going to knock on the door 2 more times. If she don't come to the door, I got to take you. Knocked on the door. At the last knock, my mama opened the door. She didn't say anything. And when I got to the house, it wasn't like no fussing, no crazy, what you doing. Woke up the next morning, didn't say anything. Already had taught me to listen to him. Already, like, she didn't have to say nothing to me, because the grace and the glory that she holds and the influence that she has, I've never disobeyed my mama no more since then. But that was just a story I wanted to tell about about that. But I have a new show that I'm introducing today, and I talked about a few things before then. And we're gonna still have the Deep Surface Experience podcast with people on there, but sometimes when just me, I want to do what's called Talbert Talk. I love to answer questions. I love to talk about certain things. I just enjoy answering questions. I enjoy the depth of conversation. I believe conversation is beautiful. I believe conversation moves the world. I believe the right type of questions. I believe just, asking questions. Because ultimately, I think in this realm that we live in, what do we actually know? What do we really know? I think we're all guessing at this point. I think we have our convictions. I think we have our gods, our religion, our financial practices, our emotional practice, our spiritual practices, social practices, people who we hang with, just culture things. We have all those things. So I wanted to explore those things through Talbert Talk. Also wanting to brand myself as well. I think that it's important out here too as well to leave something for my kids, because I plan on this going far in the future, and this being a staple of the culture. But Talbot Talk is important because, guys, you can send in questions. And this week, what I want to kind of do is give an example how it will go. And because I put together some questions, me and Tim, some questions about just things that happen during the week. I like to do that. Things I hear on group chats, conversations that I may see on Twitter, just questions like that, And listen, here's the thing. I'm no guru. I don't know everything. I am just a vessel. I'm somebody who just wants to see the world evolve properly. I want my 4 girls to be able to live in a world to where they can be identified. They know their identification. They're bold. They're beautiful. And they just know who they are, whatever they are, good, bad, or ugly. It's just important to know who you are. If you're an a-hole, you're an a-hole. Live in that, be that. And it's important to know who you are. So, but tonight, man, I want to just go through some questions that I've gotten over the week, that I've wrote down, that are important to me, that hit home to me on some of the things that I've talked about tonight. So we'll get started. So what is the objective of this podcast? And I think it's to assist in human evolution, a conversation that attempts to transcend our created constructs. Human evolution, I talk about it a lot because it supersedes my color. It supersedes my financial situation. It supersedes my religious views. For me personally, us going to another level, because the world is different now. And there's so many subjects we can talk about and say, let's hit this, hit that, hit this. But really it's about human evolution and what's within human evolution. How do we deal in the role of a father and a husband? I know that's the intersectionality for me in terms of husband, father, black man. That's what I know. That's who I am. I can only speak on my experience. So I want to have them as a target market, but also expand the horizon in conversation, and also us be the target, so everybody could. I won't. Sometimes let me say this. Getting to my point because I'm all over the place. Support us when we have targeted conversations to help black men. When we share our experiences as black men, we need support from everybody. White, black, yellow, green. We're underrepresented. In the marketplace, we're underrepresented. In the church, we're underrepresented. In the economic space, we're underrepresented. So many, the evidence is there. Over 70% of us are represented in the prison system. I'm not absolving us of anything, but at some point, if anybody's in dire need, I know we give kudos to the LGBT community and this group and that group and this group, but what about black men? What about black men? Are y'all gonna do, what about black men? There's no coalition for us. And I may be ignorant in certain areas. I don't know. I'm sure there's something, but there's not a lot of talk about it. I don't see a lot of people caping up for black men, only trying to solicit our votes, use us as political bait. That's what I see in black men. There's a lot of us out here struggling. I didn't mean to go this route, but we are. It hurts. It's a lot of black men in marriages struggling to provide. I've been there. I know. Nobody taught me about a budget, but I was too embarrassed to ask somebody. So I screwed up. Simple things in life we don't get sometimes, but we be too prideful to say something because don't nobody stand up for us. Don't nobody tell us what it is to be married. Nobody gave me a blueprint to be married. Nobody say, hey, Steve, here it is, what to do. I just got sold to it as a fairy tale. Ain't nobody fault. I'm just saying. It's frustrating. You wonder why so many black men are emotionally unavailable. We don't feel represented anywhere. Gay black men get more respect than us. And I'm not saying that's a wrong thing. I'm just saying we've been out here. We've been out here. It seems like the rights are only for the feminists. I ain't trying to get political. I'm just saying there's nothing for us. This is not to say that they shouldn't get anything. It's just saying, like, where's the support? We're your fathers. We're your brothers. Step up for us. We're accountable. Trust me, we're accountable. There's no married man, single married black man that I know that don't want to provide, that don't want to be great, that don't want to do what's necessary. No, we're not perfect. Yes, we got a lot of things to work on. I guess this is my Talbert talk. All we get shown, and listen, this is not a white man thing. I'm talking to the world, human evolution. I'm not talking to one group. I'm talking to everybody. Step up for us. There's a disparity here, man. Republicans, Democrats, talking pundits on each side, preachers, all of us, we need to step up for black men. All of us. It's ridiculous. I don't want to hear nothing about God when I can't pay my bills. God? What? Huh? We don't get judged in fairy tales. We get judged in reality. We get called scrubs. We get called bums. That's why we be wilding out. That's why we go in caves and don't come out. I've seen this stuff happen, and I watch it, and it breaks my heart. Everybody needs representation. That's why I'm being open about my situation. I guess this is my Talbert talk. I've been fatherless since I was 7 years old. That has had the most tremendous effect on my life. I'm not saying this, just my story. And the saddest part about this, it's not even about me, is that my story is a norm. Why nobody ever asked the question, why is it so many fatherless homes? Instead of trying to Start asking the question, why is it? Why do black men leave their children? Do anybody go talk to the men? Do anybody really want an answer? Do anybody cares what the answer is on why they're killing in Chicago? Does anybody actually care what the reason is? Does anybody actually care? Every community, all of our created constructs, all of our religious, everybody, the political arena, we're all complicit. We're all complicit. I'm complicit. Victory defeated me. I was in a position. But no matter, it may not be fair, Tim, it may not be right, but if you ain't got no father, you ain't got a lot of foundation. Because see, through this situation that I've been dealing with, the structure, the discipline, and infrastructure that a man bestows to his sons, because he teaches the son that life is difficult and that it's a repetitive difficulty over and over and over again. That learn to take pain, learn to deal with pain, learn for things to be unfair, expect it to be that way, rise above. That's why a father puts sons through obstacle courses in life. That's why they're hard on them. Bless all the fathers out there, all the men that's taking care of their children. It's hard. Because see, I got caught up sometimes, or I rejected the volume of a man's voice because it wasn't familiar to me. I hated when coaches yelled at me. Made me soft. Made me sensitive. Made me defensive. So even though I thought I was smart, I lacked the ability to communicate. To comprehend, rather. God is going to stop letting us, excuse my language, fuck over women. See, I thought entertaining women, as long as I wasn't cheating, I thought, because I was using the guy's, I'm hurt, so let me go out here and do this. Sneaking, deception, all in the name of I'm hurt. That's immaturity at its finest. Accountability is tough because you gotta, it ain't no, can't wiggle your way out of it. My mission, I'm not going to dwell in my mistakes, and you will not hear me using this or talking about this anymore. Now we're on to the solution. Now there's moving forward. Now we allow our actions to be our greatest conversations. Excellence is required in my life. See, I was telling Tim, before we got on air, and I said, listen, I said, you know, this hour and a half that we have doing the podcast, and I absolutely love doing this. It takes my mind completely here. I said, this is the only hour and a half that I'm going to get a piece. Because when I go back, reality will be waiting at the door for me. What if I want to sit there and text? What if I wouldn't have jumped in that DM? What if I wouldn't have pretended that innocent conversation wasn't really innocent? But see, all of this happened because I was in the will of Steve. I talked about God, but the truth be told, I had no idea. I've been around church my entire life. I was just churched. I was indoctrinated. It's my tradition. I walk through Christianity. It's my tradition. But I didn't understand it. I had a form of godliness. I knew how to turn it on. But I guess deep down inside, I always knew my character didn't match. I guess I knew at some point it was going to catch up to me. I prided myself on being the best, being competitive. Prided myself on outdoing this person. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to be the man. I like being the man. I ain't even gonna try to. They ain't never gonna change. I'm a superstar. I believe that in my heart. Regardless of what happened, I'm gonna keep striving until they put me in the ground. Doesn't matter. I'm not here for trophies. I'm here for the work. I want to see how much better I can get. I don't even know how I got up on that though. To that end, I embrace my good and my evil. I'm both. Sometimes I like doing bad things. Sometimes I like doing good things. Doesn't always mean I go through it, the evil or the bad or whatever. But being acutely aware that I'm capable keeps me on guard, keeps me in God. And I thought I knew God. And in some ways, I still don't. Truth be told, if you want me to be totally honest, sometimes I don't even know if God is real. I really want God to be real, though, if I'm being honest. I struggle with that. I feel like I didn't get to choose how God was presented to me. And I'm not angry at anybody. People did, my family did the best they could. But I'm curious. And at the beginning, in 2018, when I first got married, that was there was my cognitive dissonance moment, where I had an idea, where I started challenging my faith. You know, I started to ask questions. The only reason why I was a Christian when I was younger because I was afraid to go to hell. It scared me to death. It's the fear that drove me a long time. I guess why I had a lot of resentment against the church for a long time. And I guess I still do to some degree. It's nobody's fault, though. It's just life. And I'm only speaking about this because when I should have been foundationally present for my family, I was struggling with my spiritual life. And that was not the time to be doing it. That's why you take your time. I didn't take my time. I didn't measure. I arrogantly thought I was a leader. I mismanaged my gift. I weaponized my gift. And my life just started to crumble. Year by year. I started to lose grip year by year. Job to job, year by year. Where I was once a gladiator, I became a mere mortal. And just year by year, without God, it's almost like when Samson got his hair cut off. He took his eyes off God. It's almost like Job just being stripped away, just things just like just life just going, like things just falling off. Like I'm like, what the crap is going on? It further made me question God, because what is God? It's one of the questions I wrote down. Is I don't know. Don't know. I know the character that we talk about. I know the love that we talk about. But I never spoken about the anger of losing my father at 7. I never understood it, I couldn't process it. So I was left to my own devices, I got it myself. So I had to start asking God or challenging this and challenging that, because a lot of stuff didn't make sense, and I'm not going to all of that to me. And I was frightened by hell, and I was questioning whether this is real, and I was met with new information when I first got married, and instead of, again, being there and being a strong tower, all of my priorities was out of whack because my victory defeated me. What will work in one situation don't work in another one. That's why you must be diligent. That's why you must measure. That's why so many black men like myself, so many men across the country like myself, we don't have the tools to be the husband. I wish somebody would have told me to stop. Stop. You ruin people's lives like this. I wish somebody would have told me to stop. But I'm glad they didn't, Tim. Because now I sit here before you and can tell you that I've learned and I've grown. And no matter what happens to me, no matter if matters get resolved or not, I hope you will listen to me when I tell you to cherish that woman. Every single day. Don't take a day off. Don't take a day off. Stay off the internet. Stop listening to people that's giving you any other advice other than going home every night, taking care of your wife and kids with absolute vigor. There's nothing else for you to be doing. Nothing else. This is not about women. This is not about no freaking happy life, happy wife. This is about men being men and doing what we say we're going to do. I am speaking to you as I'm talking to myself. This is a Talbert talk. I just let you guys listen to it. I'm going to wrap up in just a second. So many people struggle with their relationship with God and their traditions. And I've been in arguments and debates, and none of it matters. Because what God is to you, I'll never know. And you'll never know what he is to me. But what we can be to each other to illuminate him together, we all can help each other grow. Every group, everybody. Look at me and don't be like me. You've been warned. I'm not no prophet. I'm not no preacher. God ain't tell me to come tell you this. My experience did. The inner G. Just my experience. Just what I'm living every day. Nothing that's going to happen. Nothing ain't about to happen. Just do what you have to do for your family. Just don't be like me. Trust me. You don't want to be like me. I don't want no man. If you married, you're blessed. If you pour into, that's the blessing of the man. The blessing, if you're a married man, God has already put the garden right in front of your face. He put the garden right there. Again, he gave the garden back to you through your wife. That was the restoration. Your wife, she's the garden. I don't care where y'all are in your marriage. And I can't speak for experience. I ain't giving no marriage advice. I'm just telling you whatever. See, I'm not giving specific marriage advice to people and telling them to do this and that. But you may not be a millionaire. You may not have the most money, but be a steward. You may not know the most about God or the Bible, but serve. Ask questions. Be curious. You may not have it all together right now. But I believe this. I'm going to give you this example because I always think sports, for me, the intersectionality of sports meets life, I think is so brilliant, especially when you're talking to men. So on a sports field, there's different variations of players. There's some players more talented. There's some players less talented. But the absolute worst thing that you can see on any athletic endeavor, the worst thing you can see, it makes anybody cringe, is whether you're talented or whether you're less talented, there's a great equalizer, and it's called effort. You can always give effort. I missed that. Didn't matter what I didn't know. Didn't matter that I was fatherless. It didn't matter what I didn't get. Those are components, but ultimately it was, I could have listened. Could have took my time. There's a lot of things I could have did, but I didn't. And here we are. No excuse. This was a Talbert talk. Hope you guys can join us again. And when you listen to this, man, if this bless your life, hit that thanks button and donate to us, man. We need it. I want to do this for a time. I believe this is my calling. I believe God has anointed me to help restore balance to the family, to help the fatherless like I was, to help the underrepresented like I was. I can only project to you what God has produced in me through my suffering. I won't say anything else outside of that. I won't give you any other advice outside of that. it is critical that we operate in the lane that we're anointed in. I don't know where I go from here, but I do know that I'm not sitting here without the sacrifices of so many people. And I want to thank you guys for holding me up. I never thought I would be here. I thought I didn't even want to live at some points. There were some points I was wondering why, like, is life really like this? Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. Good night.